Hi, I'm Cheryl Abrigo with USF Tech Transfer Office. We're here with Dr. Robert Frisina, Distinguished Professor and Department Chair, Department of Medical Engineering, who is also the Director of the Global Center for Hearing and Speech Research here in USF Research Park.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. So please tell us, what are you studying here in the Global Center for Hearing and Speech?
One of our most translatable projects right now has to do with diagnosing a form of hearing loss that currently we cannot do clinically. So this is based on the way the inner ear works, and it has different ions, sodium and potassium. And basically what we're doing is developing a way to image these ion concentrations in a clinical setting. This is not possible right now. And it turns out there are certain types of hearing loss, like age-related or noise-induced hearing loss, where this type of ion concentration change takes place. And what we're doing is working on a procedure where you could get a very small dose of an imaging agent that changes when you have this type of hearing loss versus someone that has normal hearing. So we filed a patent on this, and we're excited to move forward and see if we can get to the point of FDA clinical trials.
Very good, very good. Your research into the age-related hearing loss is very significant. What inspired this research?
So our original inspiration came partly from the fact that, our aging population is growing. We're having to take care of our parents and our grandparents. Average age is increasing. And virtually everyone who gets into the elderly years has some sort of hearing loss. It is the #1 neurodegenerative condition of the aged and the #1 communication problem. So when we started our initial research in this area, there were no, and actually there still aren't, any FDA-approved drugs to help hearing. So you can go to CVS and buy something to kill pain, make you feel better, make your stomach feel better. And so, a lot of drugs on the shelves there, but nothing that's approved for improving hearing. So we felt if we could understand what goes wrong, not only in the ear, but in the brain, because you can't hear much without a brain, we would be able to develop some drugs and technological interventions, maybe better cochlear implants, hearing aids. And in fact, here, since we've had our labs here in Research Park, we have surprisingly got a patent approved on a new compound to slow down and help hearing in old age.
So what would be next on the horizon?
Well, in this lab where we are now, in this BSL-2 hood, there's a very interesting, expensive device. And we were lucky that we got some funds to purchase this a few years ago when there were some technology funds around. And it's called a 3D bioprinter. So we all know what a 3D printer is. It has plastic spool, and it melts the plastic and can make little devices and toys and things. This is a 3D bioprinter. It's got 8 channels, and what you can do is prepare cells, living cells of different types. So you could have a nerve cell, a blood vessel cell, a skin cell, all in the same procedure. You feed those cells in, and theoretically, in the future, we're going to be able to print organs, skin, things now where you have to wait for, transplants, waiting list. So in the eventuality, you could print a whole organ theoretically. So we're still in the beginning stages. My understanding is in clinical trials, people are actually smokers, have cancer, they have their trachea removed. Now you can design a trachea that's with the patient's own cells. You grow them in an incubator. You print the trachea, and they're actually transplanting tracheas. So what's the big advantage of this? One advantage is no rejection because
Right.
you're putting the patient's own cells, you're 3D printing their own cells. You don't have to take immunosuppressive
Wow,
drug.
yeah,
So that's what we have right here, and it's a great thing for our students to work on because this is going to be one of the futures of biomedical engineering,
for
because this
sure.
3D bioprinting.
Yeah, that is incredible. How often do you get to play with this?
We play with it on a regular
Oh, wow.
basis, but it is pretty complicated. So
Okay,
not every student, it's not suited to every student, but some of the
okay,
advanced students.
okay, cool. You currently have 8 disclosures. What is your best case scenario for any of these that were currently being researched?
One of the ones we're most excited about is a new neural stimulation system. So right now, all the implants in your body,
Mhm.
so cardiac pacemaker, cochlear implant for deaf people, it's all based on electrical stimulation. And certainly these devices work very well in many patients. However, there's some patients they don't work in right now. So one of the big limitations of electrical stimulation is the current spreads a lot. So we've got several patents now on a new system involving lasers and what we call microheaters, which is a new form of electrical stimulation. And in a nutshell, we found that combining some of these with each other or electrical stimulation gives you a much more precise stimulation pattern on the nerves.
Okay.
So we're excited. We would love to license that to a
Mhm.
neural stimulation company that makes some of these devices now and work on improvements.
That is exciting. And I'm going to go back to my office and get to work on that. Well, thank you.
No
This is
time to waste.
right. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been very interesting, and we always enjoy coming and talking to you.
Well, thank you for coming. Enjoy speaking with you as well.
Thank you.